Hey Ryan, how's it
Sure.
going this week?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
Great.
We had some technical difficulties today, Tim. I messed up my whole routine, and that made me about 10 to 15 minutes late to jump on here. So I apologize for that. And then when we got on, everything went haywire. The God and the machine just went nuts on us.
Yeah, it was quite the go around with the microphones,
And that's
but
what happens when you
they
deal with computers,
especially PC based computers.
I guess. Do you
I
find
mean,
are you Mac owner?
um, well, I have iPhones and iPads in the house,
But
and I
not
used to
the
have a Mac.
Did you like it?
It was good, except for it was limited at the same time. That's
I
that's the trade off, right?
Yeah.
It's really
I
good, but you can't do much with it sometimes. Like you can't change some things.
Yeah. I found that once I started playing PC games again, I was like, Mac who? Mac what? But I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
that's the only limitation that really I
un-
saw.
until your PC forgets where your microphone is for absolutely zero reason.
Well, if it's any consolation, I forgot where my headphones were tonight, and
Hmm.
that's what did it. And typically, I had my routine all shaken up. Um, Everyone's got I don't know. I'm a creature of routine, so I have to have like even though I have a little bit of chaos in my life wherever I work and live, uh, much to the disgust of the people who live with me. I always have like a little place for stuff that's important. So my headphones are always on my desk in my office, except if I actually go to work, which I wound up doing today. And I drove in to work and I didn't have my headphones there because sometimes I like to listen to music and I didn't have them there. So I went back to find out where they were when we were doing this podcast. And lo and behold, they weren't there at all. So I broke my routine right up. And not only did it mess up my workday, I didn't have my tunes when I was doing stuff, but then I get home and now I'm late for the podcast. So I apologize. I wasn't ready.
Well, I bet you the listeners will be able to forget the fact that we were so late.
I think so. It's mostly for your benefit. But yeah, anyway, I guess we promised to have Emma on this week, but we weren't able to get her on. So if you were listening last week and you were looking for more Emma, you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer because she's tied up busy with schoolwork, which is probably a good thing for her to be doing. And we'll catch up with her maybe next week if we're lucky. And we'll have more talk about her journey through the MCU and figure out a little bit more WandaVision, which we're going to talk about this week. But we've been watching other stuff too. Have you been watching much, Tim, lately since
I watched the last season of Westworld that's available.
oh, how'd you like it?
It goes different, but I liked it.
Yeah. Is it
Like a lot of things, I'm more of a fan of the first season, but I liked the whole thing. I don't know. I'm always in favor of any sort of robots that kill people. I like shows with that, so hard to disappoint me there. uh,
but a recommended watch?
yeah, definitely, especially the first season.
Yeah, I've only ever seen the first season, and I liked it so much that I'm waiting to watch the first season over again, and then two and three back to back. Are they doing another one? Do you know? Or
I don't know. It leaves it kind of open. It's not, it doesn't like have a big finale ending where every question is answered or anything. So,
hmm.
so probably.
Well, I'm hoping so because I what I saw I liked, and I've heard mixed things about two and three, season two and season three. But I think I don't know. It looks like the quality's there. I've seen trailers for them, and I don't know. I'm intrigued, but well, I guess we'll have to see how it goes. I've got that queued up to watch, but one day it'll be one day it'll sit down. I'm a sucker for the killer robots too. I love that motif. I like
Yeah,
friendly robots also, but killer ones are more
well,
fun.
friendly robots. Can you ever really trust them?
Well, to get you into trouble, yes.
I mean, so far Vision hasn't been killing very many people, but there's always, that could change anytime.
That's right. Well, so you got Westworld under your belt. I finished up Stephen King's The Stand.
So where
And
do you stand on the stand?
where do I stand on the stand? Well, right down in the shit, to tell you honestly, knee deep in it. Um, I tried so hard to like the show, and there are things that are likable about it. There's some character moments that are really good, particularly in the early episodes. Larry Underwood is a good character, and he's got a good little character arc. And Harold, I don't know if you're familiar with the story at all. Harold is the kind of Stephen King stand-in. He usually has the character that's written in there, either that is him, matter of factly, or is a sort of a surrogate for him to insert himself into the story. And in this case, it's Harold, and he's a really unsavory dude. He's the it's a pretty honest depiction of I think the guy's bad qualities, but he's a good character in the show. But really, I don't know. How familiar are you with the Stand, Tim?
I read the book a couple times.
Oh, so you're familiar. I'd say that's familiar.
I read the original version, and then I read the revamped, updated version with modern dates and history and advertisements and things like that in it. And I don't remember when that came out, but there was 2 different versions.
Yeah, he had the original one that the editors made him chop up, and then when he got all big and famous, he put out the complete version of it that had like another 400 pages or something like that.
It seemed quite long, not gonna lie.
Well, that's the one that I read, and anyway, if you like the story, they do a faithful job of telling the story. All the things that you want to see are in there, like all the story notes and everything are in there, but they just forgot some stuff that just makes a TV show good, I think, as opposed to making a book good. So they just kind of like flatlined it there, and a couple of them are like it's a villain problem. Like when you read the book The Stand, they can tell you how bad the guy is, but when you watch the show, you don't really get that, and they don't really show how bad the guy is. You just kind of have to pick that up along the way, but by the time you actually get to figure out who the bad guy is, he's kind of toothless, and then you're like left wondering, well, why should I care about any of this in the first place? And I don't know.
Sounds like the soul of it isn't there.
That's really what it is. Like, when they distill it down to a TV show, they kind of lost something in translation, and it's not for lack of trying. I mean, there's good actors in the show, and you could tell that the people who were writing it actually cared about it, but it just kind of fell flat, and it was kind of a bummer for me. But I watched it till the end because I just love that story so much. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm giving it I don't know. It's kind of like watching. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's just a rough watch. I think it was.
Okay. Well, how many out of 7?
Out of 7, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 7.
3 out of 7. Okay, that's not worth watching then for me.
No,
it's got to be at least a 3.5, right?
to get a 50%. Yeah. Yeah, I'd give it a 3 out of 7. It's not quite there. But so then after that, I kind of was left feeling empty and hollow, and I filled the void with a bunch of really crazy movies that I normally wouldn't watch. Some of them I would, but a lot of them I just kind of I kind of challenged myself to broaden my horizons beyond tights and lightsabers, and I found some gems, man. I found some gems. Possessor is one. It's a little extremely violent, but if you haven't seen that, I'd give it a watch.
Possessor,
yeah.
Sounds like a horror movie.
Well, it's got horror elements to it, but it's kind of a weird mixed bag. So it's Brandon Cronenberg, the son of David Cronenberg.
Oh.
And if you watch the movie, you'd swear it was a David Cronenberg movie. I think he just really leaned into it hard and went, piss on it, I'm just going to do it. So I watched this movie and I turned it off and I thought, well, conversations must have been really interesting around the Cronenberg family dinner table. Because it was, I'm a hard guy to rattle, and this movie shook me, man. It's nuts. It's got some stuff in there that you'll never forget. You'll always remember. So, and that's the Cronenberg signature. Every one of David Cronenberg's movies has had one of those moments where you just,
well, that's true.
Yeah, there's something that always just punches in the gut and sticks with you. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, for instance, like cutting a hole in your stomach and sliding your pistol in there, and then letting go of it and just leaving it in there.
Yeah.
for instance.
Yeah. This is Videodrome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later pulling it out as a flesh gun.
Yeah. Well, I remember going to rent that. I was like, I went to the video store, the local video store, and the guy who was there, he was pretty good. And we were going to go rent this Videodrome movie. I think I was like 12 or something like this. And I had the case in my hand. You go up and you take the case up to the counter. And then I went to go rent this movie, and the video store guy stopped me, and he's like, "I can't let you walk out of here with this, dude." And I said, "Why not, man?" And he's like, he just said to me, he's like, if your parents see this, they're gonna phone me, and I don't want that bullshit. So he's like, "You pick something else, and you can take that out of here, but I'm not letting you." It was the only movie he wouldn't let me watch.
Hmm.
And I finally saw it in completion about 2 years ago. I hadn't seen it all this time.
Well, what about that little area in the back with the swinging doors? The porn movie area.
Well, my video store didn't have that one. They had a big book on the counter with all the covers in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so if you wanted to go through that, you had to do it in front of the rest of the video renting crowd, like a shameful.
They didn't have the secret little room that you could sneak into when nobody was looking.
No. There wasn't any of that. You're out in public with your shame. But
Okay.
yeah, that was my David Cronenberg story. So if you really want to feel uncomfortable and disgusted, give it a watch. It's like a roller coaster where they just throw pig blood at you at the end of it.
Well, the only things that would come close to that would be Clive Barker movies.
Yeah, I haven't really seen too many of those.
Really? You haven't? You don't know Hellraiser?
No, I've never watched the
You
whole
have
thing.
not watched Hellraiser?
No, sir.
Hellraiser 2, then probably not.
Nope. I think the only one I've actually seen is my friend made me watch. Not made me. I did it willingly, but we watched In the Mouth of Madness.
Okay. Well, what about Nightbreed?
Oh, I have seen Nightbreed. I had to see that. I was a Calgary guy, so anyone from Calgary's like, you got to see Nightbreed, man. It's only Calgary.
Yeah, and then they went to a graveyard north of Athabasca.
Oh, is that right?
Which is a real joke because north of Athabasca is a large swamp that doesn't have any big graveyards full of mausoleums, etc.
Well, that'd be one terrifying graveyard.
They just don't have that north of Athabasca.
No, you're getting into some territory there. I've been up there.
It's bush with swamps.
Yeah, there aren't a whole lot of really picturesque graveyards I find in this part of the world. Those really, what would you call it? Gray-stoned.
Well, Medicine Hat has a very nice graveyard.
Is that right? Why didn't he set it there? It's like he was unfamiliar with the terrain.
Okay, so we've really gone down a crooked alley now, but I'd suggest watching Hellraiser 2 at some point or another, just for the hell of it.
Number 2 is the one you recommend the most?
Yeah, you could just get the highlights of number 1 so you know what's going on, and then watch number 2. And then skip all the other ones. All 8 of them or however many there is. Somebody will probably be mad at me for that, but
well, to all the Clive Barker people out there, I got to win some points back here. I am a big fan of the book The Thief of Always. I read that book and I thought it was amazing, and I gave it to my kids to read because I'm a bad parent and I want to scare them. So I do really have a soft spot for that one.
There is a Hellraiser graphic novel, I believe, which maybe I haven't looked at it, but maybe that would substitute for movies.
Well, I don't know. I like the movie experience, so I think I'm gonna. You know what? I will broaden my horizons. I will continue my latest trend of movie watching, horizon broadening, and I might go out of my comfort zone and check out some Clive Barker films.
Like maybe you should go all the way and watch just 1 and 2. 3, I don't know. It has its moments, I guess. I mean, anytime that the Cenobites show up and kill people, it's always good. But
so those are the bad guys that you see, like the pasty
Pinhead
face,
is a Cenobite, yes.
Leather wearing freaky guys.
Yeah. Well, the important things to know about the series is that there's always a puzzle box lying around, which is left like a trap for the kind of people that should go to hell, find that box and have to open it. It's not really hell, but whatever the dimension is, there's a lot of pain and suffering involved. Once you open the box, you usually get speared or hung up on some hooks or dismembered. Something nasty happens if you open the box.
Well, that sucks.
That's basically the whole premise. Don't open the box. Oh, you did.
Oh, you did. Well, I'm gonna have to give it a shot. Just
Same
say I
thing
did.
though. There'll be certain things in it that you just can't unsee once you've seen it.
Oh, that's my whole life. I was having dreams last night about a movie I watched last night that just the character in it just gave me nightmares, and I couldn't stop thinking about how evil she was. So she just showed up in my dreams that she was at the airport getting on a plane, and I was like, I can't get on a plane with this lady. I'm not doing it. And the movie was the new one on. It was called I Care a Lot. And if you really want to see, have you heard of this?
I thought you were going to say Legally Blonde.
No, man, no. It was. What's the difference? It's this movie is like terrifying, man. Like I'm scared of getting old now that I watched this movie. It wasn't the best of movies, but she was really good in it. And she was just so cold and terrifying that I just rue ever running into someone of that moral fiber. It's just awful.
Should we move to something light and fluffy now, like WandaVision?
Let's do light and fluffy. Whoa, WandaVision, I need it. So I ran down. We're a little bit late doing the podcast, so I ran through it on Friday, and I'm assuming you did too. What'd you think?
I loved it. There's a lot of things happening here.
Yeah, we had a little text session afterwards, and so we got to give you proper victory points here, Tim. You were right all along.
It seemed that was almost a gimme, though, if you know the comics. You wouldn't think that they would put Agnes in there and have her not be Agatha. But I still don't think that she's evil. Like she might not be squeaky clean, but
dude, she killed Sparky.
Well, we don't know that Sparky was a dog.
He could.
I mean, he just showed up, right?
Well, after seeing the cat and Captain Marvel, anything's up for grabs now. Don't trust the pets in Marvel.
Yeah, so I would say that there must be some reason that she killed Sparky. So as soon as the dog showed up, she brought over, what did she bring over for the dog? As soon as the dog arrived, she was over there bringing a dog house or something. And she knew instantly that the dog was there. And then she made the dog go missing. So why would she do that? There's got to be something to that.
So the boys were around then. So
the boys found the dog outside, they said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Agatha made it go missing. It just seems suspicious, doesn't it?
So
does she just hate dogs, or was there something up with this dog?
Well, this is interesting now, and this is why I'm really hesitant to give my opinion, my irresponsible opinion of this show until the whole thing is over. Mm-hmm. Because I think there might be something. We have 2 episodes left, and we've just had like a semi-major kind of revelation, which everyone kind of saw coming. Like, I don't really know much about Agatha Harkness, but I do know that Catherine Hahn is a fairly well-respected, decent actor, and to have her in the show is... and have her just as a background character doesn't make a whole lot of sense. She's a big enough name that I knew she was going to have a pretty heavy stature in the show. So I think there's some really serious stuff coming down the pipe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We just got to see what they're going to dish to us here.
So in the comics, she's always on Wanda's side, and Wanda's never like flat out a bad guy. She's like mentally unhinged at times in the comics, etc. But Agatha was always there trying to help her out. Like she was, she's not a supervillain or anything in the comics. So they're not going to like really go against that too far, right? But she might be under control or something. But there was a couple times that she was sitting on the couch and stuff in the show, and she just looked upset and a little stressed. She didn't look like, she wasn't sitting there like the bug on Family Guy rubbing his hands together going, excellent, perfect, like that is not the way she's in the show.
No,
she seems on edge. So I don't think that she's the mastermind. We still keep seeing that mailman wandering around with packages with a smirk on his face.
The mailman. Mr. McFeely.
Is it Mr. McFeely?
Well, that's the mailman and Mr. Rogers.
Hmm.
That's the only famous mailman I know.
Well, either way, the mailman, there's something up with him because every once in a while they show him. So there's some foreshadowing there.
Uh-huh. So during the course of the show, we got a couple fun things. We got Vision finding what's her name?
Darcy.
Yeah. So he finds Darcy Lewis and does the old Vision mind trick, brings her back to reality. A big question I have though is how is it that Monica can go in, retain all her memory, and everyone else has to have the Vision mind trick? Did I miss something?
It's because she's becoming a superhero, probably, is what their explanation is going to be.
So Vision and Darcy have a little, they're driving around in the ice cream truck or whatever it is, the circus truck, and everything's not going their way. They're getting stalled. Vision does the fly guy thing out, and I can't remember where he wound up leaving off.
He just flies up into the sky and he's heading home, but we don't get to see what happens when he gets there.
Yeah, he doesn't get home in time for the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had an end credit scene here for the first time. I'm jumping ahead a bit here. I don't know if that's too much. I'm just thinking disjointed here. I'm all over the map.
Okay. Well, that's when Monica Rambeau is going into the cellar and suddenly Pietro's at her shoulder and he says, Snooper's going to snoop.
Snooper's going to snoop. So is he snooping too?
Probably. Because the last we saw him, he was being thrown away from Wanda, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was mad at him. And she's basically like, you're not my brother. So is he a free agent now? We don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot. That kind of shook my foundation because I thought when they introduced that guy back in, I thought he was going to stay around as the new Quicksilver sort of thing. So that reality is a little bit shaken for me. Now I don't really know what to expect. If they're going to keep that guy in the show or what. And that's keeping me, this kind of stuff is keeping me intrigued because obviously they wouldn't bring that guy into the show with the intention of just casting him aside so casually. And we haven't explained why, we haven't been explained why he is a different actor this time, which is...
Well, I think he's from the Nexus. So the commercial on the show was the Nexus, right? Now the Nexus of, I'm just reading straight offline here. The Nexus of all realities is a magical area in the Marvel universe that acts as a gateway to various other dimensions. And in the comics, it's located in a swamp in New Orleans and is guarded by the mute creature Man-Thing. And also Wanda's a Nexus being. So that's the comic book storyline. But we had a commercial for it, so obviously they're gonna take it, right?
Well, if we get Man-Thing, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah, who doesn't want more Man-Thing?
Everyone wants Man-Thing. Is he just a ripoff of Swamp Thing, really?
I'm not sure which one came first, but one's intelligent, one's fairly thoughtless. So you don't really have a lot of plot when he shows up. He just causes pain.
Swamp Thing is the one with the he's got lots of plot.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Now there was a Man-Thing movie made. I'm going to say 20 years ago-ish, somewhere in there.
Never saw it.
Oh, you are missing out huge. I can't tell you what it's even about. There was a man and he was a thing. That's about all I can remember. I don't think it was that hot, to be honest with you. But, it was the only Man-Thing movie we had at the time. So you never know. I think maybe Man-Thing could be I'm a little bit... I think I have a Man-Thing #1 kicking around somewhere. I might have that. I should dig it up. I might even have 2 copies of it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'd even admit to that, but I did. So do you think that's a likelihood that we're going to get something like that, or they're going to explore the Nexus at all, or is it just kind of going to be...
I don't know. What did it say in the commercial for the Nexus? It said something about the doctor, that you shouldn't go to the Nexus unless the doctor tells you to. It seemed like a hint towards Doctor Strange. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think there are that many kind of like breadcrumbs in this show?
I think so. They seem to be.
I think I'm too dumb to the whole Marvel anatomy, and they just keep going over my head. I think I'm just missing all this stuff.
Well, the reason there's some of us that, like me, that have watched it 3 times so we can make notes and then We go online and compare each other's notes. That's how we know all this stuff. Because we're crazy.
You're deep in the Nexus.
That's
You're
right.
up to the neck in the Nexus.
Yeah, the Nexus. You want to hear another one that somebody else spotted? The box of cereal that she's eating, sugar snaps.
I saw that.
Is in the snap of Thanos's figures.
Well, was there an actual cereal called Sugar Snaps?
A long time ago. I don't think there was an actual Sugar Snaps, but they used to have sugar in the name, like Sugar Crisps or...
I remember Sugar Crisps. I thought there was like a knockoff brand, like Sugar Snaps or something like that. I noticed that box too, and I thought, maybe this is a bit of Mandela effect here, but I was like, oh, Sugar Snaps. Like I remembered Sugar Snaps. Like I've had them before. But maybe I'm just combining a couple different things in my own head. Now I'm freaking myself out here. But okay, so I guess another kind of question I have is she's got this basement and she makes some, Agatha, she makes some pretty specific mentions of magic. Mm-hmm. So Marvel's kind of shied away from quote unquote using the term without describing it as like science as magic.
Yeah, the movies have anyway. Okay, but apparently, and I didn't know anything about this before, but the Darkhold, which is probably what that book is, was on Marvel TV shows Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Runaways.
Oh, really?
Although it looks slightly different, so it may not actually be the Darkhold. But if it was, it's written by Chthon, who was a demon or elder god, which had figured in the Wanda and Agatha Harkness stories. And this book supposedly created the first vampire. So now somebody made a mention of the fact that there's a Blade movie eventually.
They have cast a Blade movie, and it is deep in the thralls of production.
So this might be the connection to that. I don't know how deep they're going to tie everything together, but being as it's worked so well for them in the past, why wouldn't they tie everything together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they could be basing a whole bunch of stuff off of WandaVision. It's a linchpin.
Well, now you've got me reminiscing about the Blade movies. And I had this conversation before. If it wasn't for the Blade movies, we would not be having this conversation right now about WandaVision. Blade was really the first of the comic book movies, the modern comic book movies in my mind. Yeah,
I really liked the first one. I wasn't as big of a fan of the next two, but they were okay.
Oh boy. By the third one, there are if you ever want to have a really interesting read, there are blogs and articles about the third movie and the shenanigans that went on, and that's on that set with Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds that are just dude, you'll be laughing for days.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Blade. I don't know. It's curious. So you think that maybe they're going to use this as a springboard to launch the new Blade movies?
Well, they could potentially, right? There'd be a way to do it. There'd be a way to tie that book to the first vampire. So why not?
Well, one of the things that Marvel's super good at doing, I think, and the reason I think you're onto something here is that they are really good at making all the little seeds, they're planting all the little seeds throughout all their properties so that when something does happen, you'll have seen something before, or there'll be some reference to it. And maybe you need that to enjoy the next thing that's coming, and maybe you don't. But they always make sure that there's a little bit of breadcrumb there for you to chew on your way through the whole series. So
it's just like the when a comedian's doing a set of jokes and he told one fairly early on, and everybody forgets about it by the end. But when then you hit the end of his act and he throws that same joke thing out there,
yeah,
and you're like, oh yeah, that's like the topper, the kicker or whatever.
Oh yeah, you get everyone to laugh the same joke twice. Yeah.
So say, for instance, you're in the movie Ant-Man 2 in the theater, and you get all the way through the movie, which was a good movie. You get to the end, he gets shrunk down, and while he's shrunk down, everybody gets snapped, and everybody in the theater lost it because that was the kicker, right? That was the button that connected that movie to all the other movies.
That was pretty hot. That was a good touch. Yeah. It works magic, man.
So if they're thinking about this in the terms of actual show business, how do we connect all of our jokes or our movies or whatever together? Of course, it makes sense to thread them all through with these things. the more threads you got, the more, because most people will miss 90% of them, but they'll catch one. Everyone
Oh,
will
and that
catch
one they
one or two,
catch. Yeah.
and
And
they'll be
it's always
happy
good when they
inside.
catch it.
Yeah,
That's
they'll
it.
be able to give themselves a little pat on the back inside because they're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know. They're super good at doing it, and we'll see where it goes. So I'm still hanging on hope for my Charles Xavier cameo,
Me
and
too.
and the birth of the X-Men movies in WandaVision. I know it's an outside stretch. I know it's a dark horse, but I'm still holding out hope, man.
Well, we might be seeing Reed Richards yet because we're still waiting for the aerospace engineer, right?
Oh, is that who's called him in? Sword?
He has something to do with Sword, but I thought Monica was waiting for him.
Mm.
I can't remember now, but earlier on somebody was expecting him and he hasn't, whoever it is hasn't showed up yet. So that's also a possibility. It seems like we're coming to a really, I don't know. The actors have let us know that there's going to be a big reveal still. Like a big reveal. And everything's going to tie together.
That's dirty. That is a dirty. I'm just going to call this out right now. That's a dirty son of a bitch trick right there, what you just did. Because you know what? You could have sold me a clump of dirt right now, and I'd be like, oh, yeah? What? Is Luke Skywalker showing up at the end of this one, too?
He probably will.
Watch it.
Could you imagine if Luke Skywalker showed up and that was the cameo?
If that happens, my TV is going off. I am not watching anything else for the rest of my life. It's the reality has now jumped the shark, and I'm out.
Yeah. Maybe they'll have to make their way into the center of the Death Star so they can destroy the core of it.
No, I'm making a fucking spaceship out of a washing machine and blasting off Explorer style. I'm leaving this Earth. It's going.
There's no chance that they're going to do that.
No, let's leave it that way.
There's no precedent for it in the comics. So
no, and well, there are like little moments of crossovers in the comics. I think it was like oh no, maybe I'm wrong, but there was like a Indiana Jones comic or something like that where he goes and he like Han Solo and Chewie have crashed on Earth, and Indiana Jones like finds their mummified remains.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, you can look it up, man. It's in the comics. He did it. They got outside of the universe and they died and they crashed on Earth, and Indiana Jones found their stuff. They found their bodies. That's in a Marvel comic. And now that they own everything, I've seen chatter online. I've seen what do they call it in the spy world? Tradecraft about how Marvel and DC, or Marvel and, oh my God, I just sinned huge. Marvel and Star Wars could collide intercosmically or something like that.
But they're in a different time period. They'd have to be doing some time traveling because that was
reality
long
bending?
ago, far away.
Long ago, far away, yeah. But by that wording right there, it just sends that whole story into our reality, doesn't it? That's what brings you into that reality.
It does, yes.
So, I mean, what's to say when things get really desperate that Marvel isn't just going to jump on that ship?
Well, as long as the Cylons and you know where I'm going with that. As long as Battlestar Galactica doesn't arrive at the dark side of the moon, we're okay. That would be the last straw.
Oh, there'd be so many last straws. I saw someone put up something that said, now that Marvel owns 20th Century Fox and all of their properties, that Marla Singer from Fight Club could now be considered a Disney princess.
No, really.
And I think that'd be an interesting cartoon, 2D animation, and let's make it so. We're pitching it right now.
That should look pretty good with bigger eyes.
Yeah, I think she'd make a hilarious Disney character. Now, that's never going to happen, of course, but something funny anyway. Something funny about Disney owning everything. So where do you think we go from here, Tim? What are your predictions for the next episode?
Well, I guess Vision's going to show up. Are they all going to meet in the basement? Is there going to be a fight over the book? What's next? I don't know. I can't really see where they're going here. Where did the twins go?
I hope they just go away. I hope a reality rewrite happens. I don't even know what are those guys like. They can't be real people, can they? I don't know. She gave birth to them. They seem like we weren't really. It seems like we really are supposed to connect, and yeah, they're gone. They're disappeared, aren't they?
Yeah, they vanished.
Oh, that's
So
dark. I didn't.
I'm not sure. But if they are actually demon spawn, then they might just vanish. Guess we'll wait and see.
So Agatha popped them out of existence, do you think, or sent them to another plane of
Maybe
reality? They didn't.
maybe she put them in the freezer. I don't know.
Oh, dark, dark. Yeah, they're in there next to Sparky.
Yeah, right
I don't
beside
know.
Sparky.
We'll see what happens. Maybe they just left to get their dad and then came back, right? Like it seemed like they were a little bit concerned about him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I have a feeling that they're fine. It takes a special kind of devil awful human being to write a story. First off, where you kill a dog, and then where you off two kids in a family show.
I can't imagine that they're actually going to get rid of the kids now that they've introduced them. They're probably, because they do have to become members of the Young Avengers, which is probably exactly where we're going. Probably Monica is going to be Spectrum or whatever, and we'll have the two kids because they'll probably jump in age again or something. And who else would be in there? But that's potentially what's going to happen here. She-Hulk, maybe.
Ah, She-Hulk.
Right?
Yeah, that's
that kind of stuff could happen. So probably you're right. They're probably not going to do them in. They probably aren't in the freezer beside Sparky.
No. Like it takes a special kind of asshole to write that into your story, especially they're coming back. Like rest easy, they're coming back. Everybody.
Yeah. What do we think? Cronenberg did not write the script.
This is no. Well, here's the other thing too: is I could do without these kids for the rest of the show, and I don't like shows with kids in them. I think kids are weird, and kids in shows are usually tend to be weird. Now these two guys happen to be really good actors, and they can always do that. But after a certain point, you just check out of the kids thing. Like you use them. Oh, the kids are in danger, and then once that's out the window, and you've done that to me once or twice, then I don't know why I should be invested in these kids anymore, because obviously you're not going to do anything awful to kids in a show, right? So when they do that, it's another, I always think, cheap, that's cheap. And then I'm hoping they do the Wesley Crusher thing with these guys, and they just go, well, we did the cheap thing with them and we pulled your heartstrings, and now they've gone off with some sort of interdimensional traveler.
Traveler, yeah.
Yeah, and you can check back with them at a later date if we feel
when they're old. Yeah,
they're old and great, or they're the same age and old. I don't know.
So you never watched Lava Girl and Shark Boy, or Lava Shark and Girl Boy, or whatever?
No, did that happen?
Lava Girl and Shark Boy. That was a movie.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez.
Not your favorite thing.
I haven't seen him. I like Robert Rodriguez, but he didn't make those movies for I don't know, like my kids were never the age where they would have liked those movies, and they never got into them, and I think I was too old to enjoy them myself, and they just looked like super cheap, so I never watched them, even though I kind of like things that look super cheap. And I like Robert Rodriguez too. He's always done impressive stuff, like that episode of The Mandalorian where Boba Fett kicked everyone's ass. He did that.
Oh yeah.
But no, I haven't. Is that what happens with Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Do they go off to another dimension?
I'm not sure. I think they're virtual.
Or they just came back. They made a movie of them when they're older. Is that what you mean?
No, I think they're in a video game. I'm not absolutely sure. I never watched it, so I was
really.
My kids did.
Do they love them?
I think so.
I'd have to
there is a movie now called We Can All Be Superheroes on Netflix, which has nods to those movies.
Are those the same characters though?
I'm not sure if it's the same characters. Maybe some of them are.
I don't know. We don't know anything about the Shark Boy and Lava Girl universe.
Well, maybe Disney will buy them up and we'll find out all about it.
What else is left to buy out there? I guess, they're going to get mad about the Hulk and not being able to make any Hulk movies, so they'll buy Universal next.
Maybe if they just ended up with all their original property plus for Marvel, that would be the first goal, probably, right?
Yeah. I just... there isn't a whole lot more I want to see out of the Marvel Universe at this point. They've given me so much already. But if they could just give me a kick-ass Silver Surfer and Galactus, I'd be so happy.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm hoping that some of these other things pan out that are in the works, right?
Yeah.
We have prequels to The Lord of the Rings, a series, things like that. Stuff that's a little different.
Yeah. We'll see. How long do you think this How long do you think the Marvel wave can go?
Well, if they keep tying things together, they've got lots of potential because next this will end, and then we're gonna have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? And
Mhm.
we also have the Loki show. And isn't there one more series, little mini series that I'm missing? And then of course there'll be movies. And if these all work out, they'll pop out a few more. So really, if they do 9 or 10 episode miniseries that are all tight like this one, they can go for a long time because they'll never, each one will jump its own shark and then they'll go to another one, right?
So this is the thing is like when you see a success story like this, you look at this and you're like, wow, this is like a huge, huge thing. And my big worry is that they'll become so intertwined and connected that people will just eventually phase out and just go, you know what? I don't want to care about this many things all at the same time. So I'm dodging out, and it'll be like the one thing that's the least interesting to people, whether or not that's something like, I don't know, Eternals or what else is coming out? Um, I know that there's the new Thor movie coming out. One of these things, like, do you think maybe that is this in the cards? Is the seeds of its own destruction sewn into the fabric of this Marvel cape?
Well, probably, but if they spread it out, like for instance, right now there's only one Marvel thing going and it's not really releasing a lot of stuff at once. We're just getting a taste of it and then that's it. So if most of the time they're just doing that, it'll take a long time to time that out.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Sometimes,
maybe it's carefully designed to trickle.
well, I think in this stage of the game, it would be take a really careless and sinister act to lose the good faith that they built in their fan base. And I think that's fairly unlikely. It's almost like, you know, we're back in the early 2000s talking about the financial system, and we're saying they're too big to fail. That's almost how I, you know what I mean? Like if you really think about it, they could absorb easily a $200 million loss on a movie, and I don't even think they'd blink.
Probably.
They'd probably keep going, and I think they have. Like you look at a couple of the misfires that they had early on, like the Thor: The Dark World, or well, that's pretty much it. They just kept soldiering on. They just walked right through those like nothing happened.
Yeah, I don't think Iron Man 2 was a giant hit either.
No, but there was you know, there was the writer's strike involved in that. And Iron Man
Mm-hmm.
3, I remember being pretty modest hit. I know a lot of people didn't like that one, but I enjoyed it. But that's other than that, like I mean, they've just steamrolled and gotten bigger and bigger since then. It's
Well, everything does come
I,
to an end, right? Once things
well,
get too big and unwieldy, maybe they'll have trouble, but
I saw someone was talking about how like the superhero movies are so prevalent right now, and they likened this to the westerns, like in the 30s, 40s, 50s. For
Mhm.
30 years we had westerns, right? And the western was the king of cinema. They just were out all the time. Everyone was making them. And it was the same thing, a hero archetype, you know, a team. You had teams of a western team, the Magnificent Seven, Guns of Navarone, all that stuff,
Mhm.
right? um, and then eventually, like, it just kind of, everyone just went, shit, and they went on to something else. They went on to like your mobster movies and film noirs and all this other stuff. So I don't know, maybe something like that's coming up, and we're just reaching that saturation point one day.
Maybe.
One day,
I, I think it's got more staying power than vampires. There's about 5 years where everything was vampire, everything. Vampires here, vampire. There was vampires on every street corner. Some of
I
them were
know.
glittery and some of them were bloody. And I actually really got sick of vampires fast. There was a time there where everybody was in love with vampires and I just didn't care at all.
You know what the hard part is I'm always early to the party, and I'm this perpetual asshole who always shows up early and then leaves, goes, okay, that's great. So like I was reading all the, you know, I enjoyed the vampire motif myself, you know, in the 90s. And I was like, yeah, these vampire shows are great. And then I saw Interview with the Vampire. They made the movie of that. And I thought that was the rise. Like, you know, in
Hmm.
1992, you had that great Dracula movie. And then they followed that up with Interview with the Vampire. And then after that, they made a sequel to Interview with the Vampire that sucked. And then that was it. I thought the vampire motif was over. And I checked out of vampires with Queen of the Damned.
But no, it
And
kept going.
no, it did, and it got way bigger, right? The only thing is like they were like, hey, 90s guy who liked vampires, do these ones aren't so much for you. So I thought it was great that they redid vampires. I would have. Here's the thing with me and vampires. I'm off on a vampire tangent now. And now you got me gabbing. So I caught the tail end of a movie, a recent movie with the guy who played Loki in it the other day, called um, Only Lovers Left Alive, which is a vampire movie. And I caught the last shot of the movie, and it was two creepy ass looking vampires with glowy ass creepy vampire eyes and actual fangs.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, holy shit, a vampire movie. Which is like, I don't know why, but it's like I'm going to get on this tangent again. It's just like they can't show superheroes wearing costumes in their shows. It seems like they've made a whole bunch of vampire movies and they just said, you know what, we don't want to see on vampires, like glowy, creepy eyes, and we don't want to see any of these goddamn vampire fangs. We can't have that. That's horseshit. And so you don't get that anymore.
Well, the True Blood vampires all had fangs on the TV show.
Right. Oh, I forgot about that show. Yeah.
But so that was where the entire vampire thing jumped the shark. The books are great, but in those books, which came out before Stephanie Meyer's books, the heroine, right? She could read minds, but she couldn't read the mind of the vampire that she was in love with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then, mysteriously, in Twilight, the vampire couldn't read the mind of the human that he fell in love with. So just steal that. Kind of lame.
That, flattery. Or what's the saying there? It's like what would you say? Like imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. No, well, there's everything's a little bit stolen.
Yeah, but that was like flat out. Come on, just swap the characters that you can't read the mind of, but the other one's telepathic. Like that's silly.
Yeah. I don't think that I don't know much about the Twilight stuff. I've never read them. I know lots of people who have, but I've never read them, and I just have gathered that they're kind of like
they're the glittery version of vampires.
Yeah, I don't know. How did they start out? I don't even know why we're talking about this. Well, we like vampires, but yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a weird. It totally worked though. Like to me, I wouldn't understand why it worked, but to everyone else, it was like obviously a phenomenon. So
well, people love broken relationships that are like tragically flawed. They like to watch people that suck together. People with really big dependency problems and mental issues. They love that.
Well, it is a lot more interesting to build a story around than a bunch of people who have their shit together.
That's right.
No, like realistically, there's not a whole lot of conflict built into something like that, right? So it's just inherently not a very watchable scenario.
No, you'd much rather watch something where you have a vampire that likes to watch you while you sleep, and then later he stops watching you while you sleep, and you're so sad about it that you try to commit suicide by throwing yourself off of a cliff. That kind of stuff is great.
Is that in the story?
Yep.
Well, shit. But even if you think about all the Disney movies or something, like Princess so-and-so, she always starts out bummed out.
Mm-hmm.
If she wasn't bummed out, there wouldn't be anything left to do, and you wouldn't feel happy for her when she got to be happy.
No, in order to have happy, you have to have tragic.
That's right. And therein is built the story archetype. But I don't know. Where do we... Well, I thought the Watchmen movie in 2009 was going to be the death knell of the superhero movie, but I was wrong. And I remember saying this to people. I was like, this is going to be the movie to end superhero movies. People just aren't going to get it. Big and expensive. And it's going to flatline everything. And then after this, nobody's going to want to make superhero movies. But I was really, really wrong.
Well, tragically, we're probably at the end of this episode.
We are. Yeah. We've killed the episode.
Our story arc is over.
We sowed the seeds of our podcast destruction into the fabric of our cape.
Yeah, we jumped the shark with we jumped the vampire shark.
I love going down these rabbit holes, so it's a lot of fun.
Landed right on the back of that turtle, that frozen turtle.
Oh man. Well, all right, man. I guess we'll wrap it up. Hopefully, we'll be doing this again, maybe a little bit earlier next week. And until that time, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for being patient with me while I scrambled to find my headphones.
Well, nobody's supposed to listen to this shit anyways, so.
That's right. Go find something to do, man. Get a hobby. Play guitar. Sing a song. build a paper mache
Vampire.
Vampire. Do a vampire puppet show. Yeah. Oh, shit. All right.
Okay.
Well, thanks a lot, Tim.
Yeah, it's been a slice.
It has. We'll see you next week.